Good morning. I am just heading down to try and see the sunrise. It's just a little bit before sunrise, about 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm heading to the shores of Loch Garten, hoping to catch some sunrise colours on this beautiful loch. The last time I was here on this channel was actually pre-pandemic, when I came here in the snow. I've of course visited on my own, but I haven't filmed it. But the reason I chose to film today is that I'm hoping for some autumnal colours in the forest as well. Oh, that's my max ISO on this camera. Yeah, I'm going to have a bit of an explore, do some landscape photography. We'll see what happens. I'm nearly at the loch. So I've composed a shot now, and it's just about waiting for the light. It's nothing too complicated. I've been here before. I know that there's this patch of 3 boulders sitting in the water, acting as a great foreground interest. But here's the funny part. In the past, a friend of mine, when we were both up here together, we both came and photographed this patch of boulders before, and he took a photo, and it was a lovely photo. I enjoyed it. I pretty much took the same one, and he entered it into his local photography club competition, and they gave him something like 3rd prize in the competition. And the reason that it didn't get first, and this was the judge's words, is because the boulders, there wasn't enough separation between the boulders. And I understand that in a perfect world there would be clean separation, a clean water line between each of the 3 boulders, but this is the real world. You can't control where the boulders sit to that extent. And while I was just looking for my composition, I tried to separate out the 3 boulders, and I managed it just, but by doing it there's nothing in the background. So because of that criticism, I thought I'd try a different composition, not utilising all 3 boulders, but just one of them. So this composition is really simple. I've got the boulder as my foreground interest. It's on the left-hand bottom third. It's quite large in the frame, but there's a little mountain range in the background, so it's actually mirroring the shape of the mountains that are beyond it. So I quite like that effect. Now all I am having to do is wait for the sun to rise. I don't think there's going to be much colour because there's some very heavy dark clouds sitting around, and they're moving eastwards. So they're moving towards the sun, which means they might block it out. But then again, there is a break in the clouds over to the east, so maybe these heavy clouds will catch the light. Either way, I'm going to wait for a while and try and get the mountains with the golden light coming onto them, or with some sort of light in the scene. And so it's just a matter of waiting. But I like the composition. I hope you like it too. The colour's not really catching in that viewpoint, but over here it is. And I'm just going to rush to see if I can find a composition before it goes. There's still no light on those mountains, but I can always come and recompose that shot. But this light is going to go in a second. Let's just have a look. Beautiful, but there's no composition. Right. I'm just going to have to put you down and try and get a composition. Fast photography there. Ooh, nearly fell then. It's almost gone. It's being blocked out by the clouds now. There we go, a bit darker. See how that turned out. Oh, horribly blown out. I didn't change the shutter speed. There we go. I don't think this is going to turn out. Yeah, this is a bit pants, to be honest. There's no real colours, there's no real subject. I'll check it when I get it on the computer. But I'll put it up anyway, because I'll talk to you why I don't like the image. Basically, it's not really looking at anything, is the long and short of it. It's just the loch with the trees, and then if there was the colour, that would be something, but I'm not really picking up on the colour. The colour has developed again, just a little bit. The clouds are now getting nice and colourful. But I think I'll leave this one after this exposure and head back to where I was and try getting that, because there might be some colour developing over there. The glamours of making videos whilst being a landscape photographer. You have to juggle all sorts of crap. Okay, so I'm heading back to where I was, because there might be some colour developing over those mountains, and I can still wait for that golden light to come and illuminate the mountains. Nearly there. Nearly there. Ooh. There is a bit of light down. Right, down you go. Oh yes, that's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah, the clouds have they're being illuminated with this peach colour, which is sort of what I was after earlier. That's wonderful. Much better. I've managed to set it up almost exactly as I had it before. the light's coming through the clouds on the east now, illuminating those mountains a bit more, which is great. There's a beautiful colour in the clouds. It's like a solid wall of peach, and there's a reflection on the water. So I've actually put on my 6-stop neutral density filter to smooth out the water a bit because it's quite ripply due to the wind, and that's giving a nice smooth tone over the water with the reflection of the colour in the clouds. And I've also got on my 4-stop soft grad because the clouds are much brighter than the landscape around them, especially this boulder in front of it. The other benefit of having a long exposure is currently at about 13 seconds, is that the clouds are actually moving a little bit, so you get a bit of softness in the clouds as well, which I quite like, and it adds a little bit of a nice soft nature to the clouds. But I got some colour at least. Yeah. Where I was photographing before and I rushed round to try and catch the colours, I've come past there and I've continued round, and I've never actually been this way around this loch. I usually go back into the forest and walk down to the little loch at the end, which is what I did in the last video, which if you haven't watched it, you can watch it. I'll just put a card up. But I found some more boulders in the water here, and they have beautiful separation, what I was talking about earlier, so that's good to know. I'll file that away in my location guide, because these boulders are a bit further spaced apart, which means that I can get water between them, and I can get 2 or 3 boulders to act as foreground interest as well, so that's good to know. There's snow. There's some snow on the mountain over there. I'll try and zoom in and give you a little look. Just a little bit of snow. Dusting, I think that's Binac Moor. I'm actually going to continue on this path that I've never explored before and see if I can spot anything. But I think, like in Glen Affric a couple of weeks ago, I'm looking for autumnal colours and contrasting colours. So in particular, I'd like to get this contrast of the golden birch leaves that are coming into their autumn colours and the dark green of the pine. That's my goal. Let's see if I can accomplish it. I am just looking for colours, those contrasting colours that I talked about, and I found a beautiful rowan tree with these beautiful sunset yellows, and I'm trying to compose it so that behind it is the dark green pine tree. I've managed to compose the shot now. There's going to be some highlights in the background as well because of the nature of the trees. They're letting in the light of the clouds. So there's going to be some bright spots behind it, but I'll probably crop it square to give a condensed view of the rowan tree. And I'm shooting with my 70 to 200mm lens to really focus in on one little section of leaves. So the settings are f2.8. That's important because I only want the rowan trees leaves in focus. I wanted the bokeh of the pine as the background. It gives another contrasting element to the image. ISO 100, 1/40th of a second. And I'm happy with how that looks. I've actually, by working along the path along the loch, I've made it to the road. So I'm going to just walk down the road a little bit and then cross over onto the path, make my way back to towards the car, looking for compositions as I go. I've actually made it back to my car. Along the path on the way back, there was some beautiful fungi. Bright pink and eggshell white. It was amazing. I'm going to end this one here. I've had a great morning wandering around the forest in the early hours of the morning listening to the birds. It's been real fun. If you've watched this far, thank you very much for continuing to watch my videos. If you are enjoying, don't forget to hit the subscribe. It is really greatly appreciated. And I hope you have some fun getting some photos yourself. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.